Well, that's our first road, obviously our first road trip at Ole Miss in a couple years. Obviously, with this year's team, it's our first time going on the road in SEC play against a great team, a great opponent, off to a great start. I don't know if they have a weakness on their team. They're very, very big and physical and powerful offensively, and likewise on the mound. Brady Bramlett's obviously a legitimate Friday night guy that's going to pose a lot of problems for us. He's a strike thrower. Doesn't give you any free passes. He's mainly a fastball guy. They got 3 power arms they're going to throw at us on the weekend. So, we're going to have to be ready to play our best baseball to have a chance. They're obviously off to a great start. Won their first series on the road against Tennessee, and I don't see any chink in that armor. I've heard from a lot of different coaches rant and raved about the team that Mike has this year. They came in our state and played in a tournament and did very, very well on the coast earlier this year, and they just pretty much handled anybody that they've played. And obviously they're a much better team playing at home, and so with that, we got a huge challenge in front of us. That being said, we're excited about going down and playing. That's the one thing about playing in this league. Each and every weekend is a heck of a challenge. This is obviously no different. And it's the first time going on the road with this group of guys this year in regards to conference play. So I think our guys are excited about the opportunity in front of them. We'll go down there and try to play our best baseball, and we obviously realize that it's going to take that for us to have a chance to have a successful weekend down in Oxford.
Are you happy with the lineup now and the way it's kind of settled in a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, we've been a little bit more consistent over the last 3 or 4 games or so, and there's still going to be some other guys that play from time to time. I don't know if it's going to be that way every single game, but I just like the flow that we had last weekend against Arkansas, and but there's going to be times in which Cullen can't catch every game, and there's going to be times in which I catch Jones, and that's going to allow me to put another outfielder in there if I DH Justino. So there's still some flexibility there. Madison Stokes may be coming back in the next week or so, and obviously I'm going to try to get him a few opportunities if he's healthy enough to play. There's going to be a couple. There might be some juggling going on a little bit, but for the most part, as you guys know, there's 7 or 8 guys that's going to be in there about every game, and we're going to keep it consistent like that. And but there's a few other guys, T.J. Hopkins and another outfielder or so, that I'd like to get in there and get some consistent at bats and to give our lineup a little bit of versatility. So I know that for the most part, yeah, we got the lineup we're going to put on the field each and every day, but there's 2 or 3 more guys that can be added to the mix to give us a little bit more depth and some versatility, and the right-handed hitter in there. So.
Chad, 2 questions. First of all, when a guy like Jones is on the kind of run he's on right now, is it just confidence? Is it just how he's seeing the ball? What goes into that?
Well, I wish I knew, and I'd tell everybody to get what he's got. But I think the thing that stands out about Jones is this: he's got a very even keel and even demeanor about him. He doesn't get too high or too low, no matter if he's doing well or not doing well. And I know we hadn't seen him not do well too much, but he didn't have a great fall, and he handled himself fine. He was a little bit banged up. I mean, he was but I think his maturity, his confidence, obviously when he's on a run like he is now, he's very, very confident. I mean, he feels great in the batter's box. And he has a great plate approach. He very rarely chases pitches out of the strike zone. And when he does, he regroups. And, all great hitters, that I've been able to coach, they make adjustments from pitch to pitch. Some good hitters make adjustments from at bat to at bat or game to game. He makes them from pitch to pitch. And all great hitters have that characteristic. And that's the difference, and he has it. It's very difficult to have. It takes a lot of confidence, maturity, and belief to have that type of approach. And it's nothing that he came in here with that. And on top of that, he has great hand-eye coordination, has a knack of squaring the ball up, putting the barrel on the bat, the barrel of the bat on the ball. And coupled with the great bat speed and the strength that he has, that gives him an opportunity to have great success.
And he clearly had a nice year last year at Florida State College, but did you think he was capable of anything like this?
Well, I don't know if I knew that he would be a very, very good hitter and a very consistent hitter and a hitter that would give us a presence in the middle of our lineup. That's what I expected. I don't know if I go into any year hoping a kid hits 350 or 300 or I just went into it hoping that he would be a legitimate three-hole type guy in the SEC or a middle lineup guy in the SEC. And obviously, I think he's exceeded all of our expectations with the numbers he's put up to this point. But that being said, I mean, it's a long year. He's going to have some, tough times. And the pitching's too good in this league for him to, stay on the roll that he's been on all year long. But we just want him to be the best that he can each and every day and give us a great RBI guy in the middle of our lineup. And if our kind of recipe is if our 1 and 2 guys can get on base and 7, 8, and 9 can fight their way on base and be a high on base percentage guys, I feel good about Jones and Dom and Alex and even Jonah about their ability to knock guys in. And that's kind of our recipe for offensive success. And obviously we've had some success because Jones is off to an incredible start and been the leader of our team offensively for sure.
In that same vein, kind of what's kind of been lost up and what John Jones has been doing is what Alex Stentino's been doing at the same time with 14-game hitting streak. How happier to see what he's been able to do and improve during this time while handling the multiple roles you've had him in? He's gotten much better. He's growing. He's becoming more mature. He's handling failure a lot better than he had in the past. We got off to a slow start, and everybody was asking me what's wrong with him. And I said he'll get back up there. And he has, but I think still his best baseball is in front of him. I still think he can do some things even better than he's done up to this point. I think the thing that stood out for me with regards to Alex, his plate approach is much better. He's not chasing pitches out of the strike zone. For a guy with 88 at bats, only have 11 strikeouts and moves the ball for a cleanup guy. And that's certainly encouraging to see because he's so big and strong. When he makes contact, he has a chance to do some damage. So he's just more comfortable in his own skin right now, a lot more confident. And I think Jones might be rubbing off on him a little bit.
John, then Kyle.
With Josh Reagan, he had a little bit of a disappointing year, I would think, at least numbers-wise last year. What's been the biggest difference in him this year?
Well, I think the increased velocity has kind of jumped out at me as far as, he's now a mid to upper 80s guy, and I think that's just made his changeup an elite pitch where it was always a really good pitch. And the fact that for him to have success, he has to have the ability to pitch inside, especially against righties. And to be able to pitch inside effectively, you have to have some velocity. And that's what he has now, which in the past last year, I think hitters were able to dive out over the plate against him, know that everything was going to be away. They didn't fear velocity inside. They didn't worry about getting beat on the inside half of the plate. So they took that part of the plate away from him. Now they can't. And I think that's been a major contributor to his success. He's stronger. His command's better. I think his curveball's much better as well. And, and he subtly drops down versus lefties too, and he changes his arm slot a little bit, which creates an issue for left-handed hitters. So he's right now he's got all his pitches working, and he's obviously very, very confident and believes in himself, and he's put a lot of hard work into becoming the pitcher that he is. And he's just obviously through 16 innings, it's a heck of a line, but he also has a lot of confidence and ability, or a lot of confidence in the defense behind him. He tries to pitch to contact. He doesn't try to strike everybody out. Very rarely gets behind in the count. Does everything that you want a guy late in the game to do. Quick to the plate, holds runners on, fields his position well, throws strikes, can pitch, backwards. He doesn't have to throw a fastball in there on a 3-1 count. So he's got a whole repertoire going right now, and I hope that'll continue.
You've talked several times about his competitiveness. How did he handle last year when, maybe he wasn't having the success?
I don't think he'll ever say anything about this. I don't know if he ever felt great last year. He was a little bit tender from time to time. We held him out in the fall. I don't know if he was ever 100% healthy. I mean, I don't know if he ever felt great last year. He was certainly wanted to pitch, and he certainly felt good enough to pitch. But I just don't know if he ever got the feeling that he was pitching the way that he was capable of pitching. And I think he dedicated himself this offseason to a lot of time in the weight room. He really did a lot of work in there, put on some weight, did a lot of arm strengthening exercises to increase his velocity. He's worked really, really hard to get to the point that he's at. And, he wasn't a happy camper too much last year just because of the way he was throwing, because he's gotten people out his whole life. And I think he rededicated himself to being the pitcher he was capable of being in the offseason. And that certainly worked out well for him up to this point.
Kyle, Matt, and then Dirk in the back.
With the newcomers on the team, what do they have to understand and kind of focus on going into their first SEC Road Series?
Well, it's just, it's very, very difficult to win on the road in this league. And obviously because a number of factors. One, the opponent's always very good. And two, the environments and the atmospheres are very much against the away team. So, you just have to maintain your composure, keep playing baseball the way that we're playing. Let's not make it something that it's not. We're still going down there to play a baseball game. And through 22 games, we've played them pretty well up to this point. And let's try to keep doing the same things that we've been doing. Rely on our pitching staff to keep us in the game, play great defense, and battle and compete, offensively each and every pitch. And, if our pitching staff throws the way they're capable of and we play defense behind them, we'll have our chances and our opportunities to win. And that's kind of our recipe, and that's what we're going to do, whether we're at home or whether on the road. And obviously, going and playing in Oxford is a huge challenge. But we're going to try to keep doing what we've been doing.
Matt, and then Dirk.
If Madison's able to come back within the next week or so, what does he bring to the team for you guys?
Well, he had a great fall, and he's a big, strong, physical guy that's got some bat speed, and obviously he has the talent and the ability, to be a middle of the lineup 4th, 5th, 6th type hitter. Going into the year, if he was healthy, he'd have probably hit 5th for us opening day. Now, that doesn't mean that's where he's going to be when we get back. I mean, I've had a discussion with Madison yesterday about, we're just going to try to get him back in the flow. We're going to get him some live at-bats today against some of our pitchers, and if the doctor releases him, and he could be released today, and just try to get his feet wet, so to speak, and get back in a rhythm of facing some live pitching. And maybe I can get him in there a couple of games in the middle of the week and see where he's at, and then utilize him how I need to on the weekend. It gives us another right-handed bat with some bat speed that can pop the ball out of the park and get some extra base hits. So he certainly provides us something, that our lineup would need to become more formidable. And so I'm excited about getting him back. Hopefully he'll be healthy and ready to go in a couple weeks.
The way you guys won on Sunday, does that have an effect or a carryover as you get ready to go on this stretch that you're about to go on?
Well, I don't know. I think we just got to continue to play well. It didn't have much of an effect on us last year when we won in a walk-off fashion against Kentucky to go 3-0. So let's keep it in perspective and keep playing and focus our attention on our next game. And I certainly like the way that we're playing. I like the vibe that I get from my team, the leadership that I'm seeing, amongst the guys in the dugout and in the locker room. There's certainly some characteristics that I've really felt good about. But that being said, we gotta go play, and we gotta play well. And we've only played 3 conference games. We got 27 of them left, so it's not like we've arrived by any stretch or we're back by any stretch. No, we just got to keep playing and keep playing the way that we're playing and playing well, and keep giving ourselves a chance to win each and every game. And if we do that, we'll have our opportunities to win our fair share. But that's our focus. We're not sitting here looking and saying, hey, we're 20-2, we've done this, we've done that. No, we're going to try to focus. 100% of our focus will be on trying to win the next game.
Playing off of that, did you kind of like that you had no midweek games going into Ole Miss this time?
Well, I think that who knows? If it goes well this weekend, I'll tell you I did enjoy it. Yeah, that it was a good thing. But sometimes when you win games like that, you want to get back on the field as soon as you can, just to keep the vibe going, to keep the good feel going. And but I do think our guys we had a pretty tough stretch there, in which a number of 5-game weeks in a row, some travel involved, some games on the road in the middle of the week. Obviously the guys have been pushed a little bit from an academic standpoint, so it was good to catch our breath. And it's going to be good to get back on the field with them from a practice standpoint today. And we'll practice at Ole Miss down there tomorrow. And hopefully it was good for us to recharge our battery, so to speak, especially with a Thursday night game. If it was a Friday night game, I think I'd want it to play.
I'll take 2 more questions. We got Matt and then Scott.
I know Brandon hasn't played a whole lot this year, but just how is he kind of doing everything with going back and forth?
Brandon's been fine. I mean, in his BP and his practice time has been extremely impressive, and his attitude is great. He comes down here every day to try to get better. But he's had a lot on his plate, and he has not at all gotten down on himself or the fact that he hadn't played or changed his attitude whatsoever. He comes down here every day smiling and wants to get better, gets in the cage, works with Coach Busher. He's impressive in BP, everything that he's done. And when he has the chance to be down here, he's down here. I mean, he rushed from football practice the other day and got down here and wanted to be in the dugout with the guys. And I think our guys enjoy having him around, and I think he enjoys being around our guys. And then as football settles down, as they get through the spring here, I think he'll probably get a few more opportunities on the field as far as his opportunities in a game. But he's still the prospect that he was before the season started. He still has a chance to be a great baseball player here. And we're certainly going to give him that opportunity as he goes forward in his career here. He's going to do great things. I have no doubt in my mind about it. I hope it's sooner rather than later, but the kid's also very, very committed to being the best quarterback he can be. And I certainly, as his baseball coach, respect the heck out of that. And he's shown me nothing but great things from a work ethic standpoint, character standpoint, his desire to be a good baseball player. He's been a very impressive young man to be around.
All right, last one, Scott. Back.
The next 2 weekends, you're playing Thursday through Saturday. Besides having to leave a day early, do you have to prepare a team differently to play Thursday through Saturday as opposed to Friday through Sunday? And also, I like to, what's the update on Will Core right now since we're coming up the 1-year anniversary of his injury?
No, I mean, the Thursday, Friday, Saturday thing is, first of all, the Thursday, Friday, Saturday this week is the conference gives the coaches, if they're in agreement, to move it up Thursday, Friday, Saturday on Easter weekend. And Mike and I agreed that that's what we should do this weekend. And I don't think, it's just my opinion, but I don't think we should play on Easter Sunday. And Mike feels the same way. So that's why we're playing Thursday, Friday, Saturday this week. And then next weekend is for TV reasons. And so it's, the fact that we have Thursday, Friday, Saturday back-to-back, I don't think that's a really huge deal for us. It'll kind of give us an extra day on the back end is kind of the way I look at it before we return home after Vanderbilt. Not a really big deal. We got used to it last year and the year before. It's just part of the league now. It's just part of the way it is. And, our pitchers, while it might be one day pushed up, it's still plenty of time to recover from their last outing. So don't really think it's a big deal from a preparation standpoint, especially when you don't have a middle-of-the-week game. Now, if we play on Tuesday, we'd have to be careful, obviously, with who we use in the bullpen and that kind of thing, because you don't have those 2 extra days to rest your arms. But this week, I don't think it's a huge deal. And next week, we might have to be a little bit more careful with who we use against College of Charleston. Will Crow's doing great. His rehab is fine. Is our goal for him to pitch some innings this summer in a wooden bat collegiate league, and I think he'll be 100% ready to do that if all goes according to plan. His bullpens have been great. His attitude and his work ethic has been fine. Him and Cody Morris are right beside each other in their rehabilitation, and I think they're going to be 100% and ready to go this summer, and if not, certainly next fall. So they're right on pace.